Money tips for teenagers to make money online. I recently got the opportunity to interview Mike Ziza. Ziza is a financial advisor and a teacher at Pennsbury High School in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. She is the author of the recently released book, The Early Investor: How Teens and Young Adults Can Become Wealthy. We discuss the importance and rarity of financial education in high schools as well as our college-bound children. The most crucial lessons that every high school student should be aware of by the time they graduate were presented by Ziza. We don't all earn millions of dollars annually, and it's likely that most of us won't inherit a sizable sum either. But it doesn't imply we can't accumulate significant money. It just could take some time. If you're young, you have time on your side and can retire with $1 million. Continue reading for some advice on how to grow your savings and go closer to this objective. 1. Stop senseless spending. Unfortunately, individuals frequently squander their hard-earned money on products and services that they don't actually require. Even seemingly insignificant costs, like treating yourself to a gourmet coffee every morning from a high-end coffee shop, may actually pile up and reduce the amount of money you can save. Many individuals are also prevented from saving money each month by higher spending on luxury things. Having said that, it's crucial to understand that while it's possible, it's not always necessary to give up just one thing or one habit in order to amass significant money. Usually, adopting a disciplined lifestyle and budget is required to get affluent. This means that those who want to increase their nest eggs must make some sacrifices. These might include cutting back on excess, unneeded spending or cutting back on eating out regularly. While having fun is still encouraged, if you want to save money, you should strive to keep your spending in check and create a budget. Fortunately, building up a big nest egg only calls for a few simple and quite easy changes to your spending patterns, especially if you start young. 2. Fund retirement plans ASAP. When people earn money, their first obligation is to cover immediate costs like rent or a mortgage, food, and other needs. The next step should be to finance a retirement plan or other tax-advantaged vehicle after these costs have been paid. Sadly, for many young people, retirement preparation is a secondary concern. Here's why it shouldn't be. Starting a 401k or an IRA early in life allows you to make less total contributions while yet having a higher final balance than someone who started later and contributed substantially more. How much of a difference does investing in a Roth IRA early in life make? Due to the power of compounding, if you start saving early in life at age 23 by contributing $3,000 a year or only $250 monthly to a Roth IRA receiving an average annual return of 8%, you would have amassed $985,749 by the time you are 65. A $1 million target is well within reach if you make a few more payments. Remember that the majority of your income comes from interest. Your $3,000 in donations alone only amounts to $126,000. Let's say you delay contributing for an additional 10 years. You now earn more money, have a better job than you had when you were younger, and are aware that you have lost some time, so you make a $5,000 annual contribution. You receive the same 8% return and want to retire at age 65. However, if you start saving later, compound interest won't have as much time to rise. In this case, you will have $724,753 in savings when you turn 65. Although the sum is still large, you had to put in $160,000 to get there, and it's far less than the $985,749 you might have gotten for much less. 3. Improve tax awareness. People occasionally believe that saving money by filing their own taxes is possible. They could be accurate in some circumstances. However, in other circumstances, they could actually lose money because they don't use all of the deductions that are available to them. Try to educate yourself more on the kinds of things that can be written off. Understand when it makes sense to start itemizing your return rather than taking the standard deduction. However, if you're not able or ready to educate yourself on how to file your own income taxes, it can make sense to hire some assistance, especially if you are self-employed, run a business, or have additional conditions that make paying your taxes complicated. 4. Own your home. Because we cannot afford to buy a home or because we are unsure of our long-term living arrangements, many of us rent a house or an apartment. And it's all right. However, since purchasing a house is an excellent method to develop equity, renting is frequently not a wise long-term investment. It usually makes sense to think about making a down payment on a property unless you have immediate plans to move. At least in this way, you may gradually accumulate some equity and the basis for a nest egg. 5. Avoid luxury wheels. There's nothing improper with getting a fancy car. However, people who spend a disproportionate percentage of their money on a car are doing themselves a disservice, especially given how quickly this item loses value. Of course, the make, model, year, and demand for the vehicle all play a role in this, but on average, a new automobile loses 15% to 20% of its value per year. The automobile will thus be worth between 80% and 85% of what it cost to buy after 2 years, and between 80% and 85% of what it cost to buy after 3 years. In conclusion, especially while you are young, think about investing in a solid functional item that you can pay for in cash or with minimal monthly installments. In the long term, this will imply that you will have more money to invest in savings and asset that will increase in value as opposed to declining in value like a car. 6. Establish a budget and save for a rainy day. A budget is nothing more than an estimation of projected income and spending for a specific future time, often monthly. You may keep track of how much money you are spending on particular goods and services by creating a budget. Setting aside money each month to create a cash reserve, commonly referred to as an emergency fund, is a crucial component of a budget. A financial reserve set up specifically to cover unexpected expenses is known as an emergency fund. Your emergency fund should ideally be sufficient to cover 3 to 6 months of living expenditures. Your emergency fund should be stored in safe, convenient assets like money market accounts, savings accounts, or certificate of deposits, CDs. It is obvious that Ziza thinks that achieving financial stability starts at a young age. Like with everything else, parents may model good financial behavior for their children by acting responsibly. Your own children will pick up the behaviors required to have a less stressful and more satisfying life if you live within your means, save money, and invest it. 7. Don't rely on luck. It won't happen by accident, like winning the lottery or experiencing some other unplanned event to become a billionaire. The only way to become a millionaire is to work hard to achieve it. Expecting good fortune to offer you a financial windfall will simply make it take you longer to accumulate money. Lotteries and other get-rich-quick scams waste money that would be better used for savings and investments. To see 7 digits in your bank account, you don't need to win the jackpot. The majority of individuals must gradually accumulate $1 million in savings in order to retire with it. You don't have to live in abject poverty to accumulate a sufficient nest fund and have a comfortable retirement. Your $1 million aspirations are well within reach if you get started early, make good financial decisions, and save consistently. Trading in digital assets has become simpler. You may trade and store assets with the help of OKX, a top supplier of financial services for digital assets, and benefit from top-notch security. Additionally, if you make a deposit of more than $50 through a cryptocurrency purchase or top-up within 30 days of registering, you might win a mystery box worth up to $10,000. If you find this video useful, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.